because less than 3% of you people read books. Listen to me. Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We'll tell you anything you want to hear. We lie like hell. We'll tell you any shit you want to hear. We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. You're beginning to believe the illusions. This is mass madness, you maniac. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion.
Welcome, everyone. It's Idiotbox Television, episode 176, book club discussion. You guys, our first one, The Life of Louise Norton Little. I am DJ Drumtastic.
Troy Everett. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Make sure you make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page. Make sure you do all that, algorithm stuff that we need.
All that good stuff.
You're on your phone or watching on your phone, just click your like button.
Now, there's one place you guys can watch the show at www.idiotboxtv.org. Let me put up that link. So you don't have to come on here. You don't have to go on YouTube. You can go to our official webpage.
Yeah, you go right to the webpage. Bring that up real quick.
Oops. Yeah, bring it up real quick. We got Miss Deborah Jones in the house.
Hey, Miss Deborah Jones.
Sean Durr in the house. Our two guests of the evening.
And we've got Crystal Myers and Shelly Lyle. Hello, family.
Hey, welcome, family.
But yeah, like Drummer was saying, we have our website. If you go to the website, you can double click on you can watch it from the website, or you can double click it and watch it from YouTube on the website, or you could watch it here on Facebook or Twitch. Twitch is a streaming service normally for the younger generation, so we put that on there also. So we appreciate everybody coming on.
I've never ever even been on Twitch. Now, also, you guys, for t-shirts and hoodies and all that good merchandise, you can also get that from www.idiotboxtv.org. Just click shop. I have on one of the hoodies, Idiotbox Television there. Troy also has on one. There it is right there. So you can go get you one of those. Cherie, Thank you for joining in. Welcome in.
Hey, Cherie. Thank you for joining in.
We got Sean. We got Cherie. Shelly Loud, thanks for joining in. I don't know why I don't see your mom, Crystal Myers. She must be on YouTube. It doesn't come on here.
No, I saw her. She popped up on my Facebook, so it's.
Okay.
But again, thank you, everybody, for joining.
Yeah, thanks for joining in. We appreciate it. Episode 176, the book club discussion, the life of Louise Norton Little. You know how sometimes you be reading and talking so fast, you say the word 3 words ahead because you thinking and talking so fast?
Right. I got so I want to know how everybody's week was. My week was. Oh, you didn't.
I didn't mean to do that.
Know how everybody's week was out there? Do you have a productive week? Is it going good so far? Everybody not staying away from the news. Everybody's staying away from the news. Got to take a break from the news sometimes. I know it's important to stay informed and know what's going on, but geez, some of the stuff we're seeing is very depressing.
Show them one of the things we got.
Hey, Shelly.
Oh, okay, I see.
Cherie. What was you saying, drummer?
I said, go ahead and show them the one we got.
Which one?
Well, whatever one you pulled up. I can do mine first. We got Miss
Okay.
Nicole Brown watching. Thanks for joining in. Okay, you guys, what we have going on in Texas here, it's a lot of different things going on with health and different things since Mr. got into office. The first measles death in the growing outbreak is in West Texas. It was a school-age child. The child was unvaccinated and had been hospitalized in Lubbock, Texas. And officials did not answer questions regarding the patient's specific age, any other issues or details about the patient's schooling in a press conference jointly hosted by Covenant Health and City of Lubbock Public Health on Wednesday. This is the first U.S. measles death since 2015 when a woman in Washington State died. Troy, you can read what you got before I put this video on.
Okay. What I have is the outbreak. The outbreak is largely concentrated in the South Plains region of Texas, notably the Gaines County, which is significant. Its significance is a community known for low vaccination rates due to religious beliefs. The virus has also spread to 9 counties in Texas and into eastern New Mexico, with over 130 cases reported between the two states. Health officials attribute the resurgence to declining vaccination rates and emphasize the critical importance of the MMR vaccine in preventing measles. The Centers for Disease and Control and Prevention notes that measles is highly contagious, with a mortality rate of 1 to 3 deaths per 1,000. In response to the outbreak, there has been an increase in vaccination efforts, especially for the infected communities. Public health experts continue to advocate for maintaining high vaccination coverage to prevent future breakouts for vulnerable populations. What's Bobby
Deanna,
say about this?
Deanna, what'd you say? I'm sorry,
Deanna. I was just saying that, we got a measles outbreak, and we've got somebody who's head of the Health and Human Services who doesn't believe in vaccines.
Exactly. I'm reading 10 things at one time.
So make sure you guys get your stuff. Make sure you get vaccinated. Get your children vaccinated. Vaccination has been around for about 100 years. They're safe.
Look, we all still got that little mark on our arm from whatever that was. What was it, measles?
Yeah, measles. Cherie says, I get my info from Drummer. I don't watch the news.
Hey, people do be calling me, asking me. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, it says, hello, everyone.
Cherie's stupid.
Well, you got a video to play, Drummer?
Yeah, I do have a video to play. All right, here we go, you guys. Hold on, let me bring it in.
So many of the people who get infected with measles, who get sick, who need to be hospitalized, are children. So we're here at Covenant Children's, and I want to give you an idea of how this works over here. Somebody pulls up, even before they go inside the hospital, they'll actually get evaluated in this shed out here. They want to determine if someone actually has measles. They need to be put into personal protective gear and then taken inside the hospital.
We've had over 15 patients admitted here in our children's hospital with measles over the past several weeks.
Dr. Laura Johnson is the chief medical officer here. How do you even begin to approach as a patient comes in? What do you do for them?
Most of the patients who've been admitted have had respiratory issues. They've been needing supplemental oxygen and respiratory support to help them get over the viral pneumonia part that we see with measles.
It's one thing to treat these patients on the ground, but the key in the middle of a measles outbreak is to try and prevent more cases from occurring. That's really challenging given how contagious this is. Appreciate it. Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. How's it going? That's the kind of the reaction we're getting.
Freezing weather and a measles outbreak.
Dr. Jennifer Schuford is the commissioner for the state health department. What do you think the next weeks and months is going to look like?
I think that we're going to continue to see cases, and what the next few months look like kind of depends on how effective we are at getting messaging out about, making sure that people get vaccinated, that they stay at home if they're sick, and really trying to push that message through. Really try.
Don't that sound like other stuff? People need to stay home, get vaccinated. You can get a cold, pneumonia.
Yeah, I mean, but measles is been under wraps for years,
True.
And vaccinations help; they work. But with all this disinformation coming from this administration and Bobby Kennedy, of course, there's going to be some side effects or something that that comes with certain. And not everybody's the same, but it's been proven for 100 years we've been being vaccinated. So, if you don't want to get vaccinated, that's you can. You don't have to. It's your choice.
But we're talking about kids with breathing disorders and pneumonia. Like you said, they've been around for hundreds of years, and
I don't see why you would even take the chance, especially with the the
Are your grandkids vaccinated? Do you know if your grandkids are vaccinated?
Yes, they're going. Well, they haven't got all the vaccinations. The oldest one has to get the rest of them because she's going to school this fall. Right. So I have nothing against vaccinations. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. So everybody, you just got to study up on it.
That's true. All right, what we got next here? I forgot to hit up the thing the last time, but here we go.
Well, this is when I was looking at Doge. Everybody's heard about Doge and Elon Musk. I think we're all for spending cuts because, we are in debt. This country is in debt, way over its head in debt, and there has to be some cuts. But I just think we've got the wrong people making these cuts. Just watch this video we have here.
This is crazy.
And get it up here.
The organization has deleted
Is your internet acting up at the wrong time?
This in the early hours of Tuesday, the website offered no explanation for why it had removed some items.
And go back because your internet was acting crazy.
Okay.
Original list. All of the.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I've got an internet issue right now. What's going on, Moval? Thanks for tuning in.
How you doing? Thanks for tuning in.
Again, this is MSNBC, Rachel Maddow. Too bad that they got rid of Joy Reid. She was one of my favorites also. But we know why she's gone. But here we go. I'm sorry about that. Here we go.
The 5 biggest, quote, savings on that original list, after the New York Times and other media outlets pointed out that those lists were riddled with errors. Quote, the last of the original top 5 disappeared from the site in the early hours of Tuesday. The website offered no explanation for why it had removed some items. But these were the original 5 largest savings on its list. First, an $8 billion cut at ICE, at Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The actual contract in question was worth not $8 billion, but $8 million. Next, 3 $655 million cuts at USAID. Quote, this was actually a single cut that was erroneously counted 3 times. In addition to not being $655 million 3 times, it's now only listed once, and instead of being listed at $655 million, it's listed at $18 million. So they were off there by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. But wait, there's one more, a $232 million cut at the Social Security Administration, which appears actually, according to reporting from The Intercept, to be a project that is not worth $232 million. It is worth $560,000. So we're only off by... how big is the window on your calculator? And does it need batteries? So they're not sending their best. I mean, to the extent that we are supposed to think of the authoritarian overthrow of the US system of government as some sort of benevolent mission, because these are math geniuses who are doing it, right? To the extent that that's why we're supposed to like the dismantling of the US government, because they're so good at math, and so therefore this must be good for us.
There we go. These guys can't even count. They don't know the difference between a million and a billion.
They're just making up numbers.
Yeah. I think
I said before, a lot of this stuff is not even going to happen. It's like throw it out there and see what happens.
Yeah, it's like throw it out there and see what sticks. I don't. Let's see. Shelley says, I had measles as a child, but we were vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think I know anybody who had measles when we were young. If I did, I just forgot.
Yeah,
like Mobile said, straight foolery. That's exactly what it is. Straight foolery.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all can agree that the waste of our tax dollars, we want to find out, right? We want to find out where our money is going, you know, what's going on with our Social Security. I think everybody in the United States of America, everybody that pays into the system and their taxes are used, we want to know where the money's going, right? And the thing is, you've got these two people, or you guys, they say it's fraud, right? They say it's fraud. But Congress had to pass this budget, and the budget allocated this money. So whose fault is it? Is it the Democrats or the Republicans? It's both of their faults. If that's, if you want to go ahead and say it. So yeah, I think we need to go look into it, but to do it this way, where you've got this cokehead, ketamine,
firing people.
Yeah, the guy's a drug addict. Him and
who are you talking about?
Elon Musk. He does Special K.
Special K. He looks he does
horse tranquilizers. The guy he had a horse tranquilizer problem, and now he's slashing the budget.
And you heard what little X said? You shut your mouth, you're not the president. Remember that?
Yeah, I guess that's what was it? $500 billion gets you.
Trump was sitting there. He sits there like this the whole time, like.
So when it all falls through, Trump's going to use him as a scapegoat and fall guy for everything that's screwed up. That's why he's not saying anything. He's like, go ahead, run your mouth while I sit here. When it all screws up, I'm going to. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, I guess we just got to sit back and see what they say. FAFO.
That's right.
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, and I think those of our community are tired of the protesting. There's a lot of protesting that's going out there. You don't see any melanated people out there protesting. Because it could be dangerous for you. You got Kash Patel as the FBI agent. Those guys, be very, very careful on what you do and what you say going forward. We're in a very difficult time when it comes to politics.
I mean, it's like we waking up every day to see something new, but I actually, a lot of this stuff is distractions. We got to pay attention to the small stories that they're sliding right past us. Because there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of. Even the people that he's put in positions, most of these people, if you look, are yes men. They're going to do exactly what he says, and these people are in very high positions. Could you imagine if we come to the end of his term and he doesn't want to leave.
Exactly. He didn't want to leave the last.
And he enacts martial law. He's got people in place that will allow that to happen unless Congress has something to say about it.
They don't have anything to say. The only ones that are fighting are the women. The men aren't saying anything. They're sitting like this.
I think George Carville, who was a Democratic strategist, what do you call this? Somebody that does strategic planning for the Democratic Party. I won't say it that way. We'll go a long way. He said that they should just sit back and let the ball come to them because they're going to fumble the ball based on what's going, especially what's going on in some of these Republican states where the people are really pissed off. So we'll see.
I'm sorry, I'm texting.
Hey,
but
Shay.
That's all we have to talk about, though. If you think about it, you go to the store, that's what somebody's talking about. You turn on TikTok, wherever, that's what somebody's talking about. So
Most does. I haven't heard much from the VP. Have y'all? No.
None at all.
Well, he's been very, very quiet. I think he's in danger. Maybe he should blink twice.
Why? That's the second time I heard you say that.
Oh, he's got little brown kids running around. He might be.
But they already knew that before, though.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the masses knew that he had little brown kids.
Wow. So you think it's a problem? Once he's shown the kids, they're like, wait a minute. And his wife, they're like, wait a minute.
I think he needs to blink twice. Well, we can't say that. Look, Kash Patel is somebody of color. And, you never know.
You never know.
Hey, men, looking good. Thank you, D Knox.
D Knox. Well, we got some other comments. Shay, thanks for joining in. How you doing? Sean's laughing at you. All right, Sean, you can come on up when you're ready and get your sister and hit the link like you did before.
Yeah, Shay was wondering if you read the book. We're getting ready to go into the discussion. And Sean, yeah, if you could pop on, we'd love to have you and talk to you guys about it.
Did we miss something in there? Let me see. Did I miss something earlier? Okay, we talked about the website. Oh, we didn't get on the hold on. We cannot forget about the Alliance. There's the link for the Alliance. Troy, tell them what's up with the Alliance when you go to the website or if you go to Facebook. There's a difference.
Yeah, there's a difference. So on the Facebook page, you can post all your, if you're an entrepreneur or you have goods and services, you can post it on there, share it with the community of over 700 people. You can share it with that community, or you can go to the webpage and sign up. The mission statement for Alliance is, our mission is to empower and uplift entrepreneurs by fostering a collaborative community that provides essential marketing support, networking opportunities, and a platform to showcase your products and services. We are dedicated to helping every entrepreneur unlock their full potential, grow their business, and thrive in an ever evolving market. So yeah, go ahead and sign up on the webpage. That's idiotboxtv.org.
Idiotboxtv.org. Let me put that link up real quick again.
Okay.
All right. So we can bring Sean up. Hold on one second. All right, you guys. Episode 176, the book club discussion, The Life of Louise Norton Little. So I guess I'll introduce her. Shonda is actually, let me see, she is Louise Norton Little's granddaughter. So she's going to come up and talk about the book and this and that and other. So here she goes.
Hey, Sean, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good.
Oh, good to see you. Good.
You You're gonna bring my partner in crime on first, right?
Where's she at?
She's on here.
I don't see. She got to hit the link that I sent to her.
Oh Lord, you know, old people in modern technology.
Wait, hold on. Let me send her the link one more time. I sent it in the group. I'm just gonna send it straight to her this time.
Has she ever been on here?
Yes.
Did she come live before?
Yeah, she was on live twice before when she came out.
Okay.
For those who didn't grab the book or read the book, could you tell us just a little bit about what the book is about?
It is about our grandmother, the life of Louise Norton Little.
There we go. So, and
that's my sister's question. That's my sister's question.
Okay, that's your sister's question.
Yeah.
For those, let me share something. I'm going to share something.
Read that.
Crystal Myers, she read the book, and this is her contribution. Say the name again, drummer, before I say it wrong.
Louise.
I always say Louis. Louise Norton.
I always want to say Louis.
Yeah. Louise Norton Little was an amazing woman. She had grit, determination, and a genuine thirst for the advancement of civil rights. Louise dedicated a dedication to the UNIA, Universal Negro Improvement Association, as a testament to her commitment. The turning point for me in this book was after Earl died. Louise's life took a major turn. Now responsible for her 8 children with little support, she had to focus on survival and keeping the family together. Not an easy task when you have social services breathing down your neck and a probate judge hell-bent on committing her to the Kalamazoo State Hospital. I believe Louise's incarceration into the Kalamazoo State Hospital in 1939 was a result of many things. I do believe she suffered from postpartum depression, was extremely stressed, and unfortunately a Black, widowed woman desperate to survive. Also, the eugenics movement was alive and well in Michigan, and the thinking around mental hygiene and purity of race was widespread. I, like the family, believe that Judge John McClellan manipulated legal processes with an aim of achieving an unknown benefit by sending women to the state hospital. I am happy that she made it home before she died, but sad the life she lived incarcerated. That's what Crystal Myers had to say about the book. And for those who did read the book, it's an amazing story. She was an amazing woman. And just how they tied in the history between them and where she originated from, and how much she traveled
from Grenada.
Yeah, from Grenada, and how she traveled from Grenada to Canada, from Canada to was it New Jersey? She was well traveled.
Jersey, and then state,
Yep. Then she spent a little while down in where Earl was from, right? Mississippi?
In Georgia. Reynolds, Georgia. That's where our grandfather. Reynolds, Georgia.
Spent a little time in Georgia, and then from Georgia to Michigan. So that's a lot of traveling for a woman. We've got Miss Deborah Jones. Let's bring her in.
Especially with kids. A lot with kids.
Right. With kids. And she did everything.
She's late.
Yeah, she's a little late.
I've been here.
Okay, so Troy, you can ask you guys. This is Miss Deborah Jones. She is also the granddaughter of Louise Norton Little. And Troy had a question that he asked Sean, but Sean said that's your department.
Okay.
So
Go
I'm
ahead.
going to ask
That's
a
her
different
question.
question. I'm going to ask a different question.
Okay.
Give us a little. We've read the book, so give us a little personal insight on your grandmother and what type of person she was.
Well, let me just kind
I
of say
could have
this.
answered that one.
Huh? Okay.
Was it-
So let me tell you how I found out about Grandma Little. I was 10 years old and I asked Mama about her mother. And I had been asking her about her mother quite a bit. But now Mama decided to tell me. And she told me that Grandma was in the Kalamazoo State Hospital. She kind of explained to me what was going on with her. And, at 10 years old, all I knew about someone that was in a crazy house was that the person was crazy,
Crazy.
and so I was a little afraid. Well, then when Grandma got out after spending 26 years in the Kalamazoo State Hospital, and we traveled to Lansing to see her, by then I was 12 years old and I was afraid. I really was afraid because I didn't know what to expect. And she had been taken from Kalamazoo Hospital to our Uncle Filbert's house in Lansing. And so when I walked in and I saw her sitting just so peaceful and so quiet, and she was beautiful. Her hair was long and silky, and
Hey,
she just
Sean.
had this pleasant look, not a smile, just a pleasant, comforting look on her face. And she didn't say much. Mama went over and hugged her, and she said, "Mother, I want you to meet my husband, Bobby, and these are your grandchildren, Debbie and Steve." And Grandma just went, "Okay," and she smiled. She really did. And that made Steve and I both feel a lot better. And so that was the beginning of Grandma, of me, us uniting with Grandma. And then we would go to Lansing quite a bit to see her. At least every other month we would travel to Lansing. So we got to, spend a lot of time with her. And as time went on, she really, because now she's remember, when she left, her oldest child was 19 when the state took her away.
Right.
Now she's got now grandchildren younger than, well, around the same ages of her children when she was taken away. So you can only imagine what she's thinking, what she's going through. But, as time went on, she really got more relaxed. Uncle Filbert had 5 children, so she was spending time with them. And then Uncle Wilfred would bring his children over, and then Mama would bring us over. And so she really, Grandma, let me tell you, Grandma's West Indian accent was still very strong. And she was smart. She really was smart. Her words weren't a lot, but when she did speak, oh, it was powerful. It was
Yeah.
powerful.
In the book, just how educated she was, had to be, to go from Grenada, right? Grenada, all the way to alone on a
Yeah.
ship
Yep.
by
Yes.
herself.
Uh-huh.
At that
Yep.
age, to travel from one country to another country, it just
Yep.
baffles my mind. I read a statistic the other day that 78% of Americans do not own a passport.
Mhm.
That's today in
Today.
2025.
And she
Wow.
had one. And she had a
Yeah,
passport.
Way
Yeah,
back then.
Yep.
she
and
had.
and, and her the importance of education to her too.
Truly.
I could tell that through the book. She always talked about education, and
Yes.
then everything that she did, it was like I don't want to offend anybody, but she held Earl down.
Uh-huh.
I mean, she did just about everything from the
Yes,
cooking to
she
taking care of the
did.
children to the administrative work for the organization.
For the organization, yes.
You know, she would be there for the meetings.
Right.
What did Earl do?
Well, Grandpa Earl, he they had their own farm. They had chickens, they grew vegetables, and they had fruit trees. So Grandpa Earl really took care of all of that.
Okay.
He did.
You
And
trying to say my great grandfather was lazy or something? What you trying to say?
I'm asking the question.
but remember, he was a follower of Marcus Garvey. So he was going around Lansing area, teaching and preaching the Marcus Garvey movement. And so he spent a lot of time outside of the home.
Now that Pan-Africanism, that's similar to Marcus Garvey, right? Is Marcus Garvey movement. What I want another question is, with all these teachings, is that where your Uncle Malcolm got his, I guess his speaking from? Was it from
the nation?
No, well, not from the nation, but from
You mean
Dad.
from the nation?
From his dad.
Yes.
Oh,
From Grandpa Earl, yes. He did.
Mm-hmm.
He did. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well spoken, very educated on what they're talking about. I wish there was some transcripts that we could read from some of his speeches back then. That would be amazing.
Well, not only Uncle Malcolm, but all of Earl and Louise's children were, like you say, they were educated. They spoke very well, and so you have to credit that from both Grandpa Earl and Grandma Little.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they all of them, all 8 of them.
Okay, now Sean, she gave her whole thing about how she felt in her experience and her first time seeing Grandma Little. What about yours?
My first time, I was a little girl, so I wasn't born when she got out. So I was probably 3 or 4 when I started visiting her. So I don't really remember that young seeing her, but throughout my childhood, throughout my adult life, I remember as a teenager going to visit her. Same with Debbie. We would go to whatever uncle's house she was at, because at the time she wasn't living with our mom yet. So we would go visit her and see her wherever she was, either in Lansing or Detroit. And then in like the early 80s, she came to live with us, with my mom, our mom, and for the last 10 years of her life. So she was with us from 81, like 82, somewhere around in there. And then she passed away in 89. So like her last days were with our mom.
Yes.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. The story is amazing. I love the book, and I love the way that the author tied in historical facts during that time. So it's very educational.
Mm-hmm.
She did a great job. I really enjoy it. And when you read the book, Drummer, how did you feel?
Just put me on the spot. Well, to be totally honest, I done read the book to the middle and got past it and stopped and went back and started over. I'm not a reader, but because I'm a family member, I already know a lot about the book. For me, I don't know about nobody else in the family, but for me, it's hard for me to read this book. I mean, really.
Let me interrupt real quick. The reason I asked you is because Drummer he said he'd get upset, he'd get mad.
I don't like reading.
I got mad when reading the book too. I got extreme, because the same thing. If you look at what's happening back then, it still happens now with what's happening with African American women.
Welfare, the welfare system, way back then.
Yeah, welfare system. Not only that, but the health systems. The disparities in health system, it's still happening today. So the book is relevant. It really gives you an insight on what was happening back then. And not only that, but here's a family that were property owners,
Right.
right? And
Right.
they just basically
Okay.
took their land from them.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
That
Now,
was the
another
plan.
thing,
I can
That
tell
was
you
the plan.
when Sean said,
that was the plan all along.
when
Were
Sean
you gonna say
said,
something? Oh, okay.
when Sean said Grandma Little lived there from 81 to 85 or 80, what say it again?
89.
Okay, so
89.
listen, this just hit me hard because I graduated from high school in 85 and I went to Michigan to live up north with my grandmother. And I totally did not till right now didn't realize, wow, my great grandmother was there. And I was so caught up on getting back to California that I didn't realize my whole heritage was right there. I could have been sitting down getting all type of knowledge, even though I did. But wow.
Well, Steve did. Steve talked. Grandma would talk to Steve. Man, she would talk to Steve for hours. And so this book came about because of Steve, and a lot of the research and the information he had gotten, and also Aunt Hilda, who at the time was the last living child of Earl and Louise. And after Steve passed away, it was hard for all of us to move forward on anything. And Jessica had already visited Woodland Park. Now you talk about something amazing. Jessica flew from the UK by herself. She landed in Chicago, rented a car, drove to Kalamazoo so that she could see where the Kalamazoo State Hospital was. Then she drove to Lansing, is where Shahara and I met her in Lansing. She had not met us. And she had only communicated with Steve for months, but that was only via email and some phone calls.
Yeah. And so for those who don't know, you're speaking about the author, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Jessica, yes.
Thank you. Yes, Jessica, the author. Thank you, Troy. And so now she left Lansing and drove to Woodland Park, Michigan.
Wow.
By herself. She took the trip by herself. And that's when she spent time with Aunt Hilda. And that's how this book came about, because Aunt Hilda Aunt Hilda was strong in that she wanted their mother's story told.
Right.
And that's how it all happened.
Well, it shows a lot of commitment by the author also to come all the way to the States, drive all the way to Woodland Park or Baldwin Park?
Woodland Park.
Woodland. Okay.
Yep.
All the way to Woodland Park.
Yes.
And she, you could tell that she was really entrenched in uncovering this story, but not only that, but uncovering what was happening during those times. I mean, it was
Right.
even the stories about Marcus Garvey and
Right.
how he was put in jail and then extradited back to Jamaica. That makes you want to say, okay, I want to read more about Marcus Garvey. So the book really makes you thirst for more knowledge. Have you guys ever gone back to Grenada to try to retrace your?
No, that's my plan. That's my plan
too.
Plan to go very soon.
Yeah, Steve and Mama did.
Yeah, I haven't been yet either.
Yeah, Steve and Mama did go back quite a few years ago, and they didn't really uncover a lot. We do have a cousin that we've been connected with in Grenada, and parents has given us a lot of information also about Grandma's family. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So if you wanna start a GoFundMe to send me there, feel free.
Yeah. Now
I was gonna say about the book. When I read the book, my sister and I actually had the book before it was published, before it was released. We had it, and I was reading it on my phone. And I was up in the middle of the night because it was on. And what was it on? Like a Kindle,
Kindle.
Yeah, Kindle.
kind of like a Kindle.
Yeah.
And so it was on Kindle and it hadn't been released yet. And so at the time, my laptop, I didn't know where the cord was, so I couldn't charge it. And so I was reading the book on my phone, and I was literally up all night with the phone. I just could not stop. I couldn't. It was just that, and I was just totally engrossed into the story. And so then finally, I got the laptop working, and then I was able to read it on my laptop. But when I tell you that it was definitely worth it, I read the book in, I think, 5 days. I didn't put it down. I did not.
No, that's the same thing that happened.
I literally read it in 5 days, and then and then it took me like 2 days to even process it. And like Drummer said, it makes you sad. You go through a whole wave of emotions, but for 2 days, I was just kind of like trying to process it. And I can tell you that for the ones that have read it, the family members, they have called either one of us to say afterwards, they read it, they finished it, but they couldn't talk about it yet. And they were
trying to process.
They would get back to us when they could, when they processed it. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was an amazing book. She did a great job.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack in that book. There really is. And her life, her life is amazing and tragic and beautiful. It's hard to put it in words. You have to read this book. You really have to read this book. She's an important person in African American history. She's a very important.
Right.
Just to know where she came from and what she did, and excuse me, like Ms. Jones said, all of her children were educated and could speak just like Malcolm did, and that's the heritage. And I'm a firm believer. You got Malcolm and you got Martin. I think we should have listened to Malcolm when it came to that. Malcolm was telling us the truth. We weren't listening very well. And all that comes from Earl. I can imagine that comes from Earl and being independent. Having their own farm, their own land. They fed. They would harvest the food. They were talking about how she created the jam. And all the food, would process the food right there, and they feed themselves, and they're self-sustainable.
That means he was a threat. That's why they did what they did, because he had to feed them. I
can tell you, Louise was a holistic person. She believed in herbs and she believed in holistic healing. And I remember as a teenager seeing her tea. She would be drinking tea, and I could not figure out what in the heck was that floating in that water. I was like, what is that? What is she drinking? I could not figure it out, but I am here to tell you that I am one today that drinks tea with stuff floating in it, and it's all herbs. I know now. I get it.
Yeah, well, I think the West Indies and the Caribbean, I think they're really tied to the African roots a little bit more than we are here in the Americas, right? Yeah. Because if you go to Jamaica, they do the same thing. You got chickens running around. They pick up herbs. They can eat right off the land. A lot of places are self-sustainable. Whereas here, we're in the concrete jungle. We got food
what we didn't. Well, to go on what my mom said about when I first ever was around her, for what she went through, for what I read in the book, from what I hear people say, she was very calm. I don't know. She didn't ever seem angry. Like, she did talk real soft. Yep. She did like to read. She did like to talk. She read to us a lot. Yep. And she was, for a woman who went through what she did, she still stayed very, very kind to people.
She did. And the fact that, after 26 years of being in a mental institution, her mind was still sharp. Still sharp. And then, the blessing through all of that is that she was able to live amongst her children that she was taken away from, her grandchildren that she was also, and her great grandchildren.
Because I'm a great.
Yes. And that was the blessing out of that whole story. Because I've had some friends that have, read it and they just, they too were angry and upset. And, but one of my friends said, she said, but the story was tragic, but out of that tragedy, emerged this beautiful person. And you could see, a friend of mine said, you could see where it's in all of us. It's in our family. And that came from Earl and Louise.
Yeah.
Yes. They were very creative. They were very innovative. They did what they had to do to raise their family. And Grandma did what she had to do to maintain her family after Grandpa Earl was killed.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and even in the book, as she moved to Canada, she wanted to start her own clothing business.
Right.
Which, now that I think about it, your mother had her own business. So just that in itself, how it goes from generation to generation.
That's
Me and Sean were the top employees. Me and Sean were Sean was the assistant manager and I was her flunky.
And for those who have read the book, read this story, for those who haven't, I really don't want to spoil it for you, but I do want to let you know that entrepreneur even continued with Grandma Little. One of the dreams that Grandpa Earl and Grandma had was that they wanted to have a small grocery store. Their fruits and vegetables that they grew, they wanted to be able to sell that. Unfortunately, Grandpa Earl never lived to see that, but Grandma did. As someone said, she ended up living with Mama in Woodland Park, and in the residence of Woodland Park Grocery, which was connected to the store. And Grandma had her own business.
I remember that.
Take 20 pieces of penny candy, put it in a Ziploc bag with a little piece of paper inside that said 25 cents.
Right.
And Mama would have them just lined up on the counter so that, because, just like stores do now, they give you that stuff right there at the counter. That's like a last minute type of buy. And when the store closed, Grandma would be over there looking for her money. and she kept her bills folded up. She had her bills folded up into this little coin purse. And that coin purse was always in the pocket of her sweater or whatever she had on. But yet Grandma had her own business.
Yeah. She had that stuff up, the penny candy up there, ready for the impulse buy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Look, she was using sandwich bags before they got popular.
So she got to live out her dream. She did.
It's a beautiful story.
D-Knox said we should grow our own food now, especially with all this bird flu nonsense. That's right. Deanna said the same thing. With all the bird flu nonsense, we need those natural herbs that's floating around. What was it? Some soursop or some burdock root or something, Sean, in there?
We don't know what Grandma had in there.
See, Mom. I don't know what she had. It was something.
But I'll tell you what, I don't remember her ever being sick.
Wow.
No. And when she passed away in her 90s, she still had all her teeth.
Wow.
Now, brushed her teeth with salt or soda. So she didn't even have false teeth.
Yeah. She never had false teeth.
Who has her long braid? Mom, you got her long braid still?
It's in the family.
Excuse me. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed the book. I love history, and this book took me on a long journey. And that's one reason I love to read, because you take yourself out of yourself, put yourself into somebody else, and walk their shoes. Reading is as a getaway, and I hope that this book club grows. And when we pick another book, we get more people to participate.
Exactly.
And thank you guys for sharing with us. That's an awesome story. It really is. Like you said, I'm still unpacking and processing this, looking up stuff from Grenada, and it's crazy. It is really crazy. The book is awesome.
Well, thank you for allowing this book to be the kickoff to your book club.
I thought it was a great book to start off with. So we'll be the next book club. We'll announce that next month in March, what the book is.
Okay.
We haven't figured out which one it is. If you guys have any suggestions, we are always up to suggestions.
I think this time we should make the book where it's just a little smaller. So I think a lot of people who don't really read looks at the book and says, "Ooh, if it's half of this."
And remember, it can be purchased on Amazon.
They need to read it. It's worth it.
No, I'm not saying don't read this book. I'm saying for the next book, for the next book club. But go to Amazon.com. The Life of Louise Norton Little. It's a great book.
Oh, it's an excellent book. It is an excellent book.
Great story.
I'm so happy I read it. And I'm like Sean. I was like, okay, I'm done with this chapter. Hurry up. Let's get back to the hospital. What's happening in the hospital? Because it goes back from it has a lot of flashbacks. So it goes to the hospital, then it'll go back to in the past. And so I'm reading through now I'm in the hospital and I'm ready to go, okay, what happened before? So it really keeps you captivated.
Back and forth. Yes, it does.
It keeps you captivated. So it was a great read. And again, thank you guys for your time.
Well, thank you.
It was.
Yes,
I say it was a success, drummer. What do you say?
It's always success. It's always a success when we do a show. What do you mean?
Yes,
I'm talking about the book club. I'm talking about the
book club.
Book club.
And it's just the first book club. It's just the first book. So, once we keep doing it and doing it and doing it, the readers will come.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't come out, but she already read the book probably 10 times.
Yes, B. Barnes.
And let me say this before we sign off. All the proceeds of the book are going for charity, not so that just so you guys know that part.
Yeah. Great show. I have to buy the book. It is a great book, Aunt Shelley. Go ahead and get it. You will love it. You'll absolutely love the book.
We will make sure we put the link out so anybody who missed it will be able to still get the book. It'll be in the comments of this show, actually, because we can keep commenting. So.
I'll tell you what. Now I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb. We're going to give away 2 more books. Go to the webpage. Go to idiotbox.org.
Hold on.
And when you go there, it'll pop up. There'll be a pop-up that says join the book club. So join the book club, win this book, and then when we come out with the other book, make sure you get that one too and read it. Read, people.
Reading is fundamental. We all need to do more reading, including myself. D. Knox said Mrs. Jones and Sean needs to be on every week.
No, sir. No, ma'am. Sean got bullied to be here tonight.
Sean,
no, ma'am.
That's Dave. That's Dave.
Oh,
Sean.
David. Oh, no, sir. No, sir, David. No. I got bullied to be here tonight. I got big sister.
Well, we're glad that you came on. We enjoy you. We enjoy you coming on. We enjoy your comments when you do watch us, Sean. We thank you for supporting us.
Yes, we do.
To us. It really does.
All right, everybody. So we'll see you next week for episode 177, and we'll see you. Peace and hair grease.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're in a lot of trouble because less than 3% of you people read books. Listen to me. Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We'll tell you anything you want to hear. We lie like hell. We'll tell you any shit you want to hear. We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. You're beginning to believe the illusions. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing.